Fans, welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs podcast. It's been 2 weeks since I've done an episode, so I almost forgot how I was like. I almost said, and welcome to the Dawgs. like it was 2020 again, all over it. I almost forgot our opening. But we're happy to be back in studio, all three of us finally. It's been a little bit busy with the schedules, trying to get everybody linked up. But we're here on a wonderful Tuesday, finally getting some good weather. As my child would say, Elsa brought back summer, finally.
Oh, thank you, Elsa. It's about time.
That's
crying in the mountains.
Dropping a Frozen reference right here, coming out the gates. But we're excited to be here, bringing you guys an episode. Before we get into everything, though, remember, if you want to get your thoughts and your intros on the show, head to thedawgspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure to tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. You can listen to the episodes on Spotify and Google. You can find us on any social media platform. Just search at the Dawgs Podcast. And if you're looking for more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, get access to the private Discord, play fantasy football with us. The signups are live now in the Patreon, in the Dog Pack. You join any tier you want, and then you just jump into the thread, sign up. Don't wait. I don't know if we have a cutoff. We usually just kind of see where we're at down the road.
Well, there's a cutoff.
Is there a cutoff?
I put one. It's August 22nd, I believe.
Okay, so don't wait, because if we have to cut it off at some point, and even if the cutoff's August 22nd, but August 16th, we have like an even 50 people or something. Like, we're not gonna. If we have 52, we can't make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we might just cut her off.
We might just cut it off. So don't be left out because you waited too long. I want a huge shout out to Stacy. She's always listening on YouTube and commenting and leaving us voicemails. She finally jumped in, joined the Dog Pack, got signed up for some fantasy football with us. So we're super pumped to have her. Gals, it's not just guys in the Discord. We got gals in there too. So
Mama Tendo's in the chat right now.
Yep. So make sure you guys jump in there, join thedawgs.com, play fantasy football with us, and just hang out with a bunch of cool Browns fans from all over the world. Again, that's jointhedawgs.com. Before we get a little bit further, we do want to also talk again about the Tuscarawas County Brownsbacker event happening June 21st at Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia. So if you're local, anywhere within, well, I guess as far as you want, you can come from wherever. But if you're close to New Philadelphia, June 21st from noon to 5 p.m. at Wabash Lanes, the Tuscarawas County Brownsbackers are hosting their Bowl with the Legends. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what I'm calling it. They're going to have a bunch of former Browns players. Also, current Browns player Ralph Hawley's going to be there. Sugar Dre Donovan, local boxing champion, is going to be there. You get autographs, pictures, just bowl with all these guys. It's going to be a good time. The dogs will be there. I'm not 100% sure if this dog's going to be there. I forgot to tell the wife about it. So, we'll see. But at least 2 of the 3 dogs will be there interviewing these guys, bringing you guys the event live on YouTube. So that's going to be a really cool time. I'll be there in spirit and in magnet form if I can't be there in person. But it's going to be a great time for everybody involved. So that's Wabash Lanes, June 21st from noon to 5, Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia, Ohio. So if you're close by, come bowl with all these former Browns players, current Browns players, meet us. It's going to be a good time for everybody who's there, especially if you like bowling. So let's just dive into it. We got some cool things we want to get into. This is going to be a little bit of we got a couple things we're going to get to, and then we're going to just be like throwing it to you guys in the chat, getting some questions, seeing what you guys want to get into. So if you got something you guys want us to talk about, throw it up in the chat. So we have some, we can get to it later, or if it's really cool, we'll talk about it right away. So the first thing we wanted to talk about today, PFF put out their roster rankings, and our Browns are dead last. And my first reaction was, oh, how the turntables, because it seems like not that long ago it was before every season it was, this roster on paper is a top 5 roster. If they go out and live up to their potential, this is one of the best rosters in football. And it seems like after a couple years of being a roster potential team and then not living up to it on the field, we've been knocked down a peg.
Good. Put us at the bottom because there's only one way to go.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about that? I know, like, I saw we made a social media post about it, and a lot of people are like, no way, no way, no way. And I know my thoughts, but I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts?
Well, my thought initially was, I don't think they're the 32nd worst team. I can point to some other teams, at least on paper, whose rosters I'd much rather have ours. Like, I'd rather have ours over the Titans minus the quarterback position. I'd rather have ours. They were saying how like the Browns are at 32 because of the weak, arguably the worst wide receiver core, a weak offensive line, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, well, the Steelers' wide receiver core is really one guy, and we're hoping we at least have two. But at least we've got like Njoku and some other pieces, and I think our running backs are way better, or at least project to be. So I don't know. I definitely wouldn't put us top 10 or anything, but 32 is I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, we're down there. Okay. let's not kid ourselves. We're definitely we're in, we can be in that conversation, you know. Yeah, it's crazy how like you can have a really decent roster for a long time, but then you don't take any first round talent for 3 years and like
get older
and don't really plug those holes up. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. I'm kind of with you. I don't think we're dead last, especially if the argument was, well, the wide receiver room. I can think just Tennessee. And I'm like, so Calvin Ridley and really, really old Tyler Lockett are better than what we've got going on. I do think that going into the draft, if you were like, hey, we have the worst roster, I'd be like, probably right. Yeah, we got some holes. We got a lot of holes, actually. But, I mean, I think we had a pretty decent draft. At least, you know, we have to see where it goes from there. But I'm very okay. Like, you won't see me outside protesting that we're at the bottom.
We're one of the worst.
Yeah, it's fair.
For sure. And I could make the argument, like if I had more time, you know, if they would have released this like yesterday and I could have sat down and looked at some things. But we have holes, or at least at the best case scenario,
concerns.
Big time question marks.
Concerns, yeah.
At what I would say is almost every offensive position except for two. Because here's my thing is I'm putting virtually zero stock into rookies. Okay. Because we haven't seen them do anything except for run around in shorts in some voluntary mini camps. So like we think Sampson and Judkins are going to be very good, very dynamic, help revitalize this run game, but we don't know. We thought Trent Richardson was going to be that. And look what that turned into. So I'm not putting much stock into the rookies. And then our offensive line, especially if this is based off what we saw coming from last year to this year, our offensive line was awful last year. Now we're all hoping that the scheme change and getting back to what they do best is gonna help. But you could make the argument we have questions at left tackle, center, even White Teller, right guard struggled last year. If Conklin can stay healthy, right now we don't know who's going to play quarterback, and unless one of these rookies really pops, you can make the argument that no matter who we pick isn't that great right now, at least that we know of. We have one, we hope, wide receiver in Jerry Jeudy. We don't know what we have in Cedric Tillman for real. We don't know what we have in Jamari Thrash, other than he wasn't very good last year. We have a tight end, and we have Jerry Jeudy on offense. Those are about the only two positions where I'm going into this season going, okay, I feel very confident that I've seen them perform at the pro level. Now, I feel good about Judkins and Sampson and Fan and stuff like that, but I just can't put much stock. If I'm ranking rosters, I'm not going to put much stock into rookies who haven't ever stepped foot onto an NFL field. And then if we go to the other side of the ball, defensive line, we lost Sheldon Richardson. Dalvin Tomlinson. Yeah, my bad.
Same guy.
Yeah, they're all big linemen. But we replaced him with a rookie who we hope is good, but we don't know. So we have Miles, and we have Delpit at safety, and we got Denzel at corner, and we think Emerson and Newsome can be pretty good, but then outside of that, on the defensive side of the ball, it's, you know what I mean? Like we have some okay pieces that we hope are going to be good. Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to put us last, there's some teams I'll listen to, be like, okay, maybe they're worse. We're definitely bottom 5 as it stands today.
Okay. Yeah.
Like zero doubt in my mind.
So what's that say about, Andrew Berry, or at least we assume he's got the job security based on Jimmy's comments, from March or the owners' meetings and stuff. I mean, he's had, 5? This is his 6th year now running the team, and we've got the 32nd ranked roster.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It wouldn't have been 32nd ranked last year. And, I mean,
No, last year weren't we pretty high last year?
you know what I mean? It's one of those things where there's cycles, and honestly, a month into the regular season, this could be looked at way differently. If these rookies hit,
right,
all of a sudden you're going, man, they got 2 stud running backs, they got a stud backup tight end, they got
as long as one of the quarterbacks hits, that would do it. That would do horrible.
They're winning games.
They have a defensive rookie of the year candidate in their new middle linebacker or in Schweschinger. Like, if we hit on these picks like we think we did, this will skyrocket. But until we see the rookies perform on the field in NFL action, you just can't put much stock into what they're going to bring to the team until you see them do it.
That's fair. And we got to see if the line can get back to, I mean, they're saying all the right things like, hey, we're getting back to the scheme that fits us the best. We're going to be attacking. We're going to be physical. We'll see if they get back to the performance that they were 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because last year, everybody sucked.
Yeah.
So last year's a really tough evaluation. I see a lot of people say, oh, our offensive line is terrible. They did not play well last year, but nobody did. It's really hard to just pin everything on these players from what they showed last year. So we'll see. I do have more faith in the line than some people, but that's if we can get back to that offense.
Awesome. What do you guys think?
What a transition. Awesome.
Truth says he thinks our roster's around 23. I don't know if I can. That put us.
Oh, here, you guys just want to play the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? So
let's go.
So 31 Titans. Are we better than the Titans? Our overall roster.
Yeah.
Again, if we're not putting stock into the quarterbacks, Cam Ward or the rookies, Cam Ward's a rookie.
Yeah.
Okay. I take us over Tennessee.
Okay. All right. So we go up to 30, and it is the Saints.
I would say most likely.
They just. I mean, did we lose to them last year?
Yes, we did.
So they're better than us. I mean, I want to say we're better than them.
That was the Jog Thornhill game.
Yeah.
Jameis. Panthers.
That's tough because what Bryce Young are you getting? Are you getting
true.
rookie year Bryce Young?
Or are you getting
second half of last year?
Yeah.
Bryce Young. And I like Chuba Hubbard.
They got guys. They've been stashing guys on that team.
I agree.
I would.
Okay, so you're putting the Panthers ahead of us?
Yes.
Okay. Jets.
Oh man,
they got some pieces.
They got tons of all the pieces except for.
I think if there's a good chance that if you put Justin Fields on our team right now, you'd be the starter.
I'm excited to see what Justin Fields. I mean, as a Buckeyes fan, obviously,
Yes, him and Garrett Wilson linked back up.
Yeah.
I'd honestly, Sauce Gardner. I'd probably put the Jets ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just go a couple more. Giants.
That's another one. I mean, they got Steelers reject quarterback and our old reject quarterback.
They got a generational wide receiver.
They do have that.
They've got a pretty dynamic running back room.
I think their defensive line is going to be pretty tough.
Very tough.
I'd probably take the Giants over ours as it stands today.
And then we'll just do then the Jaguars.
Not that long ago, they were pretty good, and then not that long ago, they were really shitty. So, how's Trevor going to play? You know, I think that determines a lot of it.
Even though he's been a disappointment compared to what he's supposed to be, he'd still be the number one quarterback on our team.
Fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're probably better than us in terms of like.
Well, we beat them last year.
True.
We're playing that.
If it's not raining, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
If you're putting it on just paper rosters, they're probably better than us.
You know, this kind of real quick, just a side conversation about the schedule and stuff. You know, it's why it's hard if you guys look at schedule right now in May and June and say, oh, well, it's going to be tough for this game or that game, and you're looking in like October and November. Think about the freaking opening week last year. We played the Dallas Cowboys going into the season. That's going to be a tough opening game. That's a tough team. They beat the living shit out of us and turned out to be a bad team last year.
Yeah.
You know, so everything's going to be different than what we anticipate. It speaks to the parity that we talk about all the time in the NFL. That's why it's such a great sport.
Yeah, I do think it's tough to pick wins and losses right now, like just for the reason you said. And there's so much turnover in the NFL. Like people are like, look at you guys were talking when you guys did the episode with Kenny about, you know, if we're in like the 8 to 9 win, and people are like, you're never getting to 8 to 9 wins. And it's like, I agree. Right now, I don't think we sniff 8 wins, but who knows how many of these teams where a month after the season, all of a sudden we're going, oh, they're not what we thought they were going to be. They're not
exactly.
And there's also going to be a few of those teams that we thought, oh man, that's
Washington.
one that maybe we got
Commanders.
a shot.
Washington.
You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, that's a tough game. And so,
Looking like the Eagles last year, they were like one of the best teams in the league by the end of the season. We damn near beat them.
one of the best teams. They won the Super Bowl.
Well, I guess like
Yes.
by the end of the regular season, they were playing better than anybody. But when we played them, if we had a good quarterback, we'd have won the game.
If you go back and watch our episode post Eagles game, I think everybody here said this was two bad teams playing.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I said, I don't know if the Eagles were going to win any more games or many more games this year.
We definitely said
And then-
coach was getting fired.
And coach, I said because my early season prediction was that Sirianni wouldn't make it through the season.
Yeah.
And it was looking like real good. People were calling for his head. And I was like, man,
I look good.
I was like, this looks good. I look like Nostradamus 3 years in a row
Yeah.
with a hot take. And then I think they lost one more game the rest of the year.
And he's got a ring now, Super Bowl winning coach now.
Yeah. And
Now he's a 2-time Super Bowl
Appearance.
yeah.
coach.
And so it's great. Like, just like that,
Yeah.
they figured it out. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's like they realized that Saquon's good. And they started running a lot of things through him. And
Through their number one
you can just look at the-
rated offensive line.
Look at the Browns in 23. Like we had all those injuries. We should have lost every single game
Yeah.
from like the halfway point on. We never should have won another game with that roster.
That was such a
And
fun
we ended up going on a run and making the playoffs. Like you just never know what teams are going to do that. Can the Browns strike magic? You know, you just never know.
Strike magic again.
That's why it's such a fun. I mean, the NFL is so fun.
this is the ESPN FPI says the Browns have a 13% chance to get the number one overall pick.
Why so low?
Is that
Why
ours?
so low? Why is that percentage so low?
Yeah, I put it more like 60. Actually, if you count us and the fact that we have the Jaguars first pick, I'd say the Browns have a solid chance. We're sitting like 80% chance of getting that number one pick. We might sit at one and two depending on how the cookie crumbles this
We're
year.
very negative today.
Yeah. Listen, I've learned that no matter, I'm just gonna not be optimistic ever again. Because anytime there's expectations with this team, we fall flat. And anytime I think, well, I guess let's just see what happens. Hopefully, I'm still interested a month into the
It's
season.
been the roller coaster of Kevin Stefanski's tenure for sure. And we've done the podcast now the entire time he's been here. So since 2020, and it's been low expectations, great season, high expectations, bad year. And it's been up and down every year, and we fall for it every time. So this year should be pretty good.
Yeah, we should be great.
In theory.
Should make the playoffs.
Yeah, Super Bowl run. Here we come.
Let's go.
See, if you say it jokingly, that's when it's going to be a good season.
Yeah,
Cash your 401k and let's go. Where's the Super Bowl at this year?
I don't even know.
So let us know what you guys think about the roster. Somebody said so 30. Andrew Jackson said so 32's right on.
damn
It's,
right,
it's
bro.
not far off.
You're damn
it's
right,
not
brother.
far off. So the next thing I want to get into is kind of put into the ether by some publications today. How do you guys feel about these rumors about the Browns being linked, I put in air quotes, to Kyle Pitts?
The link thing is hilarious because from what I read, it was a guy named Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report wrote an article or something and just posed this, like, you know how they do these trade proposals. And now all the headlines that every other publication is Browns linked to former first round tight end. No, they're not linked to him. It's just some guy made a proposal that we send Greg Newsome for Kyle Pitts, two guys that are, you know, on the last year of their deals with their teams, kind of get an audition with a fresh, you know, change of scenery. I don't know. Go ahead, Justin.
So what I'll say about this is if, let's say it was that scenario where it's just Greg Newsome for Kyle Pitts straight up, right? I want Greg Newsome.
Yeah, I know.
Give me Greg Newsome all day. So I'm very familiar with Kyle Pitts. Very
Fantasy
familiar. I've had Kyle Pitts in some dynasty, and I'm still holding on to him in one league, and I'm still waiting for him to show up. He had a great rookie year. Went over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Has been a disappointment the last 3 years.
They took him 4th overall in that draft. They took him over Jamar Chase. They took him over Micah Parsons.
Okay.
They took him over a ton of people.
Yeah. And the guy, super athletic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like
The next dude.
the next dude.
Yeah. And
And he looked like it his rookie year.
Absolutely. And we all just kind of, so I don't know how you guys feel about this. So I'm looking at his numbers. He went for 1,000 yards his rookie year with 1 touchdown.
Yeah, there was hardly any scores.
And then 356 yards, 667 yards, and then 602 yards. Most touchdowns were 4, and that was last year. For me, with him, I was like, as soon as this guy like gets a quarterback that he has some chemistry with, this guy's gonna blow up. So Cousins, I'm like, man, this is it. You know, I'm not making that trade.
For me, it was get away from Arthur Smith. I think he's screwing things up, and they did. They got the quarterback and they got the new coach last year.
Right.
Still didn't matter.
Yep. Bijan did all right.
Finally.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% convinced they got coach right, but
well, I'm saying they changed it.
yes.
Yeah.
And it was still the same.
I'm not making that trade. I think Newsome is way more valuable to us in our secondary, especially the way we like to play defense, than Kyle Pitts is to our offense. We just drafted Fannin. We just drafted Harold Fannin Jr. to be our hybrid, put in space slot tight end guy. So I guess I'll bank on the potential of Harold Fannin as opposed to I've watched Pitts now for how many years underperform expectations. So to me, that's just a trade that doesn't make any sense for the Browns.
Pitts is already hurt, by the way. He's dealing with a muscle sprain in his foot, and he's not participating in OTAs because of it. So it's like,
Nice.
you know, this guy's been hurt. He's dealt with some things. There's been some effort questions. Like, we don't need to mess with it. Plus, if our offense is going to be a huge question mark, like pretty much across the board, especially at the quarterback position, why are we going to weaken our defense?
Yeah,
you know that
trade away a key
we need
piece.
a strong secondary, and with those 3 cornerbacks, we have it. Now the safety position's what's in question, and so you already kind of have a questionable safety position in your secondary. Don't weaken your cornerback position, which is your strong position.
This is one of those things too. Like you can't have too many good corners. I don't understand the people who are just so wanting to ship off Newsome. Like,
I'm only doing it for a legitimate player.
yes,
Or opportunity.
Newsome has played good football for this team, and you know if there's one thing I never question about Newsome, effort, wanting to be here, physicality. Like is he your team's number 1 lockdown corner? Probably not. But that dude has played good football, and he wants to be in Cleveland. He always shows up, and he's an emotional leader.
I was going to say he might be the emotional leader.
Yes, like he's important to the Browns defense, and I don't understand the fans that want to just ship him off. It's like that Texans game just left a bad taste in their mouth or something, where you got burned a couple times, and now they just want to ship him off. I'm like, Greg Newsome plays well. And he plays well pretty consistently for us, and he wants to be here. I'm not just shipping that off for a reject tight end who hasn't lived up to expectations. I'm not calling him a reject, but they're just like getting rid of him. You know what I mean?
And I think Newsome could probably be in the trade discussion. You know, if the season doesn't start off very strong and we're getting up to the trade deadline, it's like, well, he's not going to be here next year. We're not going to extend him. Let's move him for a pick or a young piece or something. Or,
like a legit wide receiver. Like if Newsome was involved for like when we were talking earlier about like an Ayuk trade or going forward in a Olave trade. Okay, I can get behind that. I don't. You got to give up something if you want to get something.
True. Yeah.
Teams aren't. It's not like other GMs or John Nyes out there, just making fantasy trades. But so you got to give up something if you want to get something good in return. But I'm not trading Newsome for Pitts. That makes 0 sense to me.
No.
Well, what do you guys think? Would you guys trade Newsome for Pitts? Would you trade anything for Pitts?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What do you guys think his like draft value would be? Like 5th?
I was going to say 5th.
Yeah,
5th or 6th.
Because I know he's a former first rounder, but they're talking about like 3rd, and I'm like,
no way.
Yikes.
The only thing he's got going for him is he was
Young.
the 4th overall pick, and he's 24 years old still.
Young.
Like he's super young.
He
came in at 20 or whatever. But still, a 3rd? I'd rather have Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
At the 3rd than a guy like Pitts.
A younger version.
When you don't it's the unknown. You kind of know right now with Pitts.
Right. I agree.
Another thing I wanted to get into then before we kind of move to like the OTA stuff. Jed Wills not going to play this year. He's going to sit out to get completely healthy. What was his injury again? Wasn't it an injury like that we couldn't believe he wasn't back from yet?
Well, that was the start of last year.
Okay.
Remember, it was the knee, whatever from the year before, and then he wasn't practicing during training camp and all that stuff. I think he missed the first couple weeks, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Yeah.
I forget. This is one of those things where
maybe he re-aggravated it, remember? And then, like, he was medically cleared, but he told the coaching staff, like, I'm not going to play this week. Like, I'm making business decisions. Like, this guy says he's not going to play in 2025. He made that decision last year.
Yes. I would be more surprised than not if he ever plays again.
That's what I posted on socials. I said, yeah, this guy's never playing football again.
Just because of the business?
No,
he just doesn't want to. I don't think he wants to play.
I don't think I agree.
Do you think it's a him, like, I guess a him thing or like an NFL thing?
Him thing.
Okay. It's a him thing.
I just don't think it's for him.
No.
NFL football is not for him.
Like, I think, like, it's one of those deals where it takes a special breed of person to, like, stay hungry and, like, keep pushing to. I mean,
you got to grind during the season.
Yes, and football is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy to get hit every single play and condition and lift all the time and do all this stuff when you're super rich and you could just be doing whatever you want all the time. Mm-hmm. And some people get that bag and then, that was what was motivating them. And now it's like, okay, I have that. I don't love it,
Yeah.
And I just think, like, once he started getting like banged up a little bit and it got kind of hard, like it wasn't, his natural gift wasn't carrying him like it was, in college and high school and probably his entire life. And he had to put in extra time and all this extra effort. He's just like, why? I'm rich now. I can do whatever. I don't ever have to work again. So I'd be shocked if he ever plays again. There's no way you'll convince me that taking a year off is what he needs.
I mean, I guess it depends. Like, so I'm just saying this as far as, like, on his end. Like, if his knee is still messed up, like, still have lingering issues, and if he really, like, if he does have, like, he still does want to play, I would say, like, if his knee's already, like, goofing up, and that makes sense. You know what I mean? Take the year off, get yourself healthy, rebound, find your drive.
I would believe if I hadn't seen him just give zero effort for basically – he solid as a rookie, questionable in year 2. Year 3, we saw him like he was starting to kind of come around, and then he got hurt. And since that point, it has been the fall, and he'd studied the fall off. Like, he was really – I remember we were all bummed when he got hurt because it was like, oh, man, Jed Wills is strung together like 3 or 4 weeks where, like, we've been seeing effort. He's been playing pretty well the last month of the season. He got hurt, and we're like, okay, well, maybe when he comes back, and it's just been – nosedive off a cliff. Effort. It's like he's just mentally checked out. Just doesn't care.
I don't think he. What did his agent say in the release? Something about they didn't get the offers they were looking for. So I don't think they probably got any offers.
Who
other than like come in here for a vet minimum and try out for the summer.
You can't put bad tape, especially effort.
His tape is very bad.
Yes, and
some bad ones.
It's effort. Like, I mean, we all played sports growing up. What did coaches always tell you?
I did not play football.
Okay.
Quit playing yourself. Come on, dog.
I'm sure the band director told you this when you were practicing.
Yeah, this is what they're going to do out there on the football
field. I can't coach effort. I can teach you X's and O's and fundamentals and all. I can't coach effort. You either have that or you don't. It's gone.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have it. So I'll be shocked if he plays anywhere. So that was, at least we are not tied to that anchor anymore.
Nope. And people point to that being such a horrible pick and a miss, but like you said, his rookie year, it was like, okay, we got a left tackle here.
Yeah,
he looked good, very good as a rookie.
And here's the deal: is he wasn't seen as a reach. You know what I mean? Like I've made
That's where he was projected.
I've made this argument for Andrew Berry a bunch of times. Is every year his draft grade is B+ or A. And then those players don't pan out. Well, that's not Andrew Berry. He drafted guys that universally everybody said was good. That's on the Browns then to develop that talent once they get inside the building. I could understand you saying Andrew Berry doesn't know how to draft if at the end of every draft everybody's like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
D-, F+ draft, and then those guys didn't pan out. He's getting A's on all of his draft grades by every major publication out there, and then guys aren't panning out. That's on player development. That's not. I mean, he's drafting the guys that everybody says is good.
Not to take us down a murky road, I'll just leave it right here. But we've had this conversation about player development in multiple different position groups now. Wide receiver. I mean, the bunch of, like, pretty much all the guys that have failed. We went, hey, well, these are really, really talented guys coming out of college. And and then they fall off a cliff. What happened?
Well, and I also think like we can preach about player development, but at the end of the day, it's not just a Browns thing. It's like 50% of the league is a bust.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? 50% of first round draft picks are busts. So it's not just it's not like we're not developing any players. You're not going to develop every player.
I mean, we just talked about Kyle Pitts with the Falcons. Right?
Yes.
I mean,
Trevor
happens.
Lawrence.
4th overall.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah, he was supposed to be Andrew Luck, and
Yeah.
he's kind of on par with Daniel Jones as far as stats go for his career.
Yeah, so it's like
crazy.
it's not like the Browns are the only team out here that has a 50% success rate when it comes to developing players. That's like the industry average in terms of developing first round picks and stuff like that. So
Andrew, I did want to just read Andrew Jackson's comment. He says, Jed is a local kid. He has soft mental issues, and his parents are super protective over him and anything negative about him. That plays a role.
that's
I mean,
without going. That's
you can
just like a
you can
Gen Z
just
thing.
you can just tell though, like whenever he's getting
I don't want to sound like an old boomer.
when he's getting crapped on though by the media or fans or whatever, you can just tell it eats at him, and he's just not.
Like, and I'm not trying to say like we should be out here like finger pointing at players and like making you feel like crap. They're still human, but also to be elite, you kind of have to have like thick skin and be mentally tough. That's like part of being great. You have to be willing to like walk into a hostile environment and then still be able to perform. You can't shrink when
kind of like our YouTube comments.
I was gonna say that's exactly, bro. I was waiting for him to stop so I could be like, kind of like when you get a podcast.
I can walk in there, I can take the bullets, and it's like, you know what? I'm still going to go out here and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
the
it
exact
is
same
brutal.
thing.
It is brutal. Just your worst things that you worry about. That's what they're gonna fire at.
Yes.
All day.
That's good.
You smoke too many packs of cigarettes when you were younger. Your voice sounds terrible. You're welcome. You're welcome for this.
It's iconic.
Go ahead, Blake.
You're fat. Who? Like I didn't
Not
know.
me.
Like I didn't know.
Don't you know the camera adds 10 pounds? they
Yeah.
say?
The camera.
we got 3
got
cameras.
3
So
cameras.
Yes. So they're adding 80 pounds.
It's good math.
Yes. But I guess I'll take this moment as we're talking about, looking the haters in the eyes and overcoming. We were voted the second best Browns podcast by FeedSpot.
Yep.
So I don't know who voted for us or how it worked.
How the rankings
Thank you,
came
Andrew.
out.
How it came out or how anything happened. We didn't even know we were being considered. But yeah,
I got an email today. They said, "Hey, we're sending you an award. A little graphic, like a badge that we can put on our social media stuff for number 2.
snap.
Number 2.
I said
Browns
I said we won't rest till we're number 1.
We're coming, Mary Kay. We're coming.
We're like Kobe. Job's not finished.
Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. But yeah, so that was cool. We got that news today. And thank you guys for listening. That helps us out.
Sure does.
All right. So last thing I want to talk about before we get to some voicemails and just kind of open it up for questions here. What do you guys want to see from second week OTAs?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I guess heading into it, obviously quarterback. I feel like that's a very easy answer, but I want to see as much of the rookies and even a little Kenny. I want to see the young guys. I think I know what I have in Flacco, and I'm like pretty much on the. I don't know if you agree with this, Blake, but I'm pretty much on. I think Flacco's just gonna coast into week 1. I know that it's a competition and everything, but I think he's just a lot farther ahead as far as understanding of the system, the concepts, everything. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about just that.
Here we go. Where's the Shador people in the chat? I want to see Shador take. And I know they're not getting like first team reps, second, whatever, that's kind of stuff, because they're splitting into 2 offenses and all that. I want to see some 11-on-11 throws, though. I want to see some of that stuff where he's getting the pass rush, because what we saw, and I know last week Kevin Stefanski said he did take 11s, but it just wasn't in the session open to the media.
Yeah.
Well, all we got to see last week, what was open to the media, they posted all the videos, and all he took were 7-on-7 reps. So I just want to see it, because everybody in the comments, like we talked about, says, "Oh, you guys are haters. You guys hate him," and all this stuff. We've been on here every episode saying, "I hope he can be the guy," and I want him to get the opportunity to show whether he is or not, because we need to know.
The longer this offseason goes, like the more and more excited I'm getting for him.
Me too.
Because I feel like I was maybe the Shador guy, Justin too. Like I wanted us to draft him.
Yeah.
And like everything they post, I'm like, oh, that's a real nice throw. Like he looks real good. And from what I'm hearing, the videos and stuff I watched, it's been Flacco's one, and Shador's been the next best quarterback.
So we talked about this with Kenny over the weekend on the episode, but I want to get your opinion. Did you see the stuff about, I forget who it was, I still can't remember. Somebody was reporting that Shador's mechanics look different from rookie minicamp to OTAs, saying that he's definitely been working on some things because he's coming out and the ball is like tighter spiral, it's sharper, it's quicker out, quicker release. Because some of those videos we talked about out of the rookie minicamp was like, ooh, that throw looked bad. Like it just wobbled out of there. I didn't see any of that last week. Like they were much more.
I think. All right, so I kind of went at Shador stands the last time I did an episode, and then I said I want to all the people who just like hate on Shador because he like thinks good about himself. He has confidence. Like you sound so dumb. Like Shador is a good quarterback, and he has not been given anything in his career. He's had to work for it. He's had many different coordinators, turned 2 programs around. To anybody who says he didn't turn around Colorado, you're ignorant.
Did anybody watch Colorado before?
Yes.
No.
They lost, 11 games by 30 plus points the year before he got there. And then all he's ever done since he's become a Cleveland Brown, every time he is in front of the microphone, I come away impressed with what he has to say. I think he carries himself well. He seems prepared. He got to Cleveland right away and started working out. He's in the building, putting in the time. It's like, he's doing all the things you want to see a guy who's going to eventually become your franchise quarterback become.
What I'll say, and it could go either way, whether it's Shador or it's Dillon Gabriel. If you're a Browns fan and you're rooting against both of them or one of the two for them to be successful, you're an idiot. Because they're on a rookie contract that's basically the only way that we get out of this Deshaun Watson mess. So if you really, really want to just... I guess stick your cart to Flacco for the next 5 years. That's great. I don't think that's realistic, but that's the way out.
There's just
you have 2 rookies on a rookie contract.
The people who hate on Shador, it's just they all have like 2 things in common. And I'll let you guys decide what those 2 things are.
Okay.
They're old and they're white.
You said those things.
But it's just a bunch of old Facebook boomers who don't like somebody who like has a touchdown celebration because their favorite player in the 70s acted like they'd been there before. It's just like, give me a break, guys. It's a different game. Yeah. It's a different time. It's okay to be happy that you scored a touchdown.
There's branding involved now.
Yes.
Don't you want that?
That's another thing. I think there's a generational gap here too.
There
in
absolutely
fandom.
is.
The world is completely different now with social media because these young athletes, especially the young athletes, it's all about marketing yourself. Everybody's got their own brand, whether you like it or not. You are promoting your own brand at all times. Not really Facebook, but Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Like that's why these things are so important to these guys. Everybody's doing. I mean, we're friends with Percy Garner, who pitched for the Indians back in 2016, and he talks all the time about how he wished he would have marketed himself more on social media when he was younger in the major leagues because he didn't. He just didn't take advantage of it, and now he's trying to play catch up post-career, to get his podcast out there and things like that because he didn't take advantage of that early on when he could have racked up thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. He just didn't. That's what these guys are doing.
Yeah. And honestly, for obviously Shador was a starting quarterback, but for a lot of guys, that's how you get noticed to get your shot. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to put yourself out there.
And they got to do it in college to, for NIL opportunities as well.
Yes. I think I've said this before, but at least everything I've seen, everything I've heard, I was sneaky intrigued by the Dillon Gabriel pick. I don't know if the guy stands a shot to be the guy. I think if things continue the trajectory in which they're going, Flacco will start the year, and at some point this year, it'll be Shador.
That's what I think too.
It's going to be, it'll be Shador.
I'll still say it'll be Flacco and then whichever rookie outperforms, but I do think there's a strong chance it is Shador.
Again, I'm not a size guy where you have to be the prototypical 6'5", 230-pound Phillip Rivers.
Because Shador's not either.
Because he's not. Right. But even standing next to Gabriel, he looks tall, like a more NFL player.
I will say
Dillon Gabriel is he's just a small person.
Shador does look the part. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the whole situation. And I keep saying the most realistic outcome is we're trying to figure out what quarterback we're taking next year. I mean, we're Browns fans. We know this. But there is definitely hope and optimism with Shador.
I'm not looking towards next year, man. I'm
not saying you should. I'm just saying
I know what you mean, but I'm excited about both these guys.
I thought Shedeur was the best quarterback in this draft for Kevin Stefanski's system. Like I even said, if Cam Ward and Shedeur were both available at 2, I would have taken Shedeur still because I thought he fit Kevin Stefanski's system better. And I talked all the time about how fit is almost more important than talent sometimes. Like there are quarterbacks who aren't as talented as other quarterbacks, but they're in a better system, a la Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? They're in a better fit and a better system that utilizes their skill set, and they're successful. I think Shedeur has a chance to I really think he has a chance to be the guy for us, like going forward. I think we won't have to draft a quarterback next year, and we're going to get to have 2 potentially top 10 picks to spend on Caleb Downs and a tackle or something like that.
Or a wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
My prediction would be Joe Flacco starts the season, and it starts hot. Like he's going to come out against Cincinnati and throw for like 350 yards. It's going to be like, yeah, Flacco fever again.
Are we going to win?
Oh, yeah, we're going to win. It's going to. I'm saying we're going to start hot, and then there's going to be some picks, and then there's going to be some fumbles and some turnovers, which that was the ride with Joe. And I think Shedeur gets a shot sooner than
you think.
Later.
So whoever between the 2 I know you think Kenny's gone. You don't think Kenny's going to be, or at least you think.
Yeah, I don't think they can go with all 4 of these guys throughout training camp.
So basically, whoever gets the lead for the second spot, you think is going.
Yeah, because I don't think
whenever they.
Let's put it this way: if they go through training camp and they have 2 veterans and one of them beats out the other,
what's the point?
What's the point? Because then you start Joe, and then once he starts throwing picks, you move to Kenny. And now you're just wasting time where you could be evaluating these younger guys.
You have to at some point evaluate.
I think your outlook on the season determines that too. Like, if you remember the year we had Josh Dobbs and then in DTR, and we end up trading Josh Dobbs, and we were all mad. We were like, why? You don't want your backup quarterback in a season in which you, at that time, we thought were Super Bowl aspirations. You don't want your backup quarterback, if you have Super Bowl aspirations, to be a rookie who's never started a game. But if you're probably staring like top 6 wins in the face, if we're lucky, at least the way it stands today, you absolutely want to get your rookie quarterback some playing time to get some evaluation on him.
And this is also like a worry of mine, and it's only because I've watched the Browns do this so many times, is just throw a guy out there when if he's not ready.
Well, that's the nice thing about these 2 quarterbacks. They've played so much freaking college ball. Like,
just go get it.
They're more ready than your normal, typical rookie quarterback, at least that the Browns typically draft. You know, I mean, I understand that DTR played a lot of ball too in college, but he was not the same quarterback prospect that these 2 are. Even Dylan,
that's fair,
but definitely not Shedeur. He's not the same as what Shedeur came out as. So,
I want to see, from watching Shedeur's games from the last 2 years, I have no faith that he'll be good in the NFL. Completely disagree with the big guy in the right. Well, thanks for calling me the big guy instead of the fat guy. That's a win. I'll take that. But if you watched him play for 2 years, there's no way you can say that there's zero inclination he'll be good. He threw for how many? 4,100 yards,
37 touchdowns.
Yeah, almost no interceptions. Like none of that says I can play football at the next level.
The only thing with Shedeur, he's got some bad habits in the pocket that were developed by the pressure that he was facing in that offense. If he can correct those habits, or if the Browns can work with him to say, hey, look, instead of drifting back, step up, find a spot in the pocket, step up to get your next read. Man, if he can correct those things.
Well, how encouraging it is already that you're seeing him working on mechanical things.
Yes.
Like with his, like they're like, hey, these are things that you should work on, and it is an immediate change. You can see it already just on what,
And it's one of those, first of all, everybody craps on Dion, and they don't like Shedeur for that. Dion is going to teach him how to prepare like a professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been around a Hall of Famer his entire year, and he knows how to prepare like a professional and what it takes to succeed at the highest level. And I obviously I didn't watch him at Jackson State. There's not a lot of Jackson State football, but I watched at Colorado. This is going to be the first time in his football career, at least as far as I know, he's going to play with hopefully is a good offensive line and a good running game. He's done all this where, in like Jake Burns said, it's literally just been him.
Yeah.
Saying go out there and perform and throw the ball around and don't make mistakes. It's going to be the first time he has anything to lean on outside. I mean, he had Travis Hunter and like, that's it. This is going to be the first time he's had a running game to lean on, a defense to lean on, an offensive line that can keep him clean in the pocket. Hopefully, like, I don't know. I think sky's the limit. I've pretty much everything I've seen, and I think it's telling how well he's performing because the Browns are, every video, I've seen very little clips of Dylan Gabriel.
I know no one's posting anything.
And it's like because is there not any? You know what I mean? Like you would think the guy they took in the 3rd round, you'd think if he's out there blowing them away in OTAs and stuff, they'd be putting out video clips.
My first thing about that would say, well, they want to post Shador stuff because it's going to get shared more. It's going to be more popular. But I'm seeing clips of Kenny and Joe. So you're right. Like, it's not just Shador for the sake of Shador. Like, they're showing everybody. I have not seen a ton of Dylan. But did you see the Mike Florio stuff? Whenever we talked about, I said, I think they're going to trade Kenny Pickett. And then the next day I read an article and it was Mike Florio talking about how he said, put me down for they're going to trade Pickett before training camp.
Come on,
so like
Mike.
over the
well, when you're the number 2 podcast, people are going to take your content.
Joe Thomas been doing it for years. Sorry, Joe. I love you, buddy, but we know you've been doing it.
That's an inside joke here.
Yeah, if you've watched long enough, you know that one. But no, he was saying that put me down for a Kenny Pickett trade before training camp because his argument was you can't go through training camp with 2 veterans, Joe and Kenny, and keep them going into the season because you're not going to give your rookies, either rookie, enough reps in training camp to be ready at any point in like the first half of the season.
That's what I said. That's where your season expectations come into play.
Yeah.
If you think you're a playoff team, then you keep them both because if God forbid one of them goes down, you got a vet to bring in that you hopefully don't have to tank on the season. If you don't think you have any shot, then you roll with the rookie. You know, you get to the midway, we get to the bye and we have 1 win. Let's take 2 weeks to get Shador ready and then bring him in.
I've started kind of thinking about the like Joe Flacco and Kenny kind of battle a little differently too, because for a while I was kind of like throwing Kenny into the rookie mix, right? Like almost just like young guy, you know. If you really think about it though, he's on the last year of his contract. So let's say he does play well. Can we pay him? I don't know. Or do we want to pay him? I'm not sure. Same kind of deal with Flacco. It's a 1-year rental, you would think.
Yeah.
Oh, so to me, I think it all comes down to whoever is the guy. With the
I think that this stretch of OTAs and the next week in mandatory minicamp is going to be the final deciding factor of which veteran they keep, Joe or Kenny. And then they're going to work for the next month while everybody's on summer break to figure out how can we get one of these guys, you know, get something back for him somewhere. Something to watch.
All right. Well, I think we got like 3 voicemails from Moneymaker. I say let's just
we
do
got
one.
1 voicemail and 3 questions.
Jesus, Brad.
We can rapid fire him. Here
All right, here we go.
All right.
Rain, go away, come back. Oh, wait. Is that a fireball in the sky? Oh, my gosh, the sun's here. Oh, my gosh. Well, guys, I have some questions for y'all. This is Brad Moneymaker. If y'all don't know, here's my questions. First question, kicker. What are we doing about the kicker? Is Dustin Hopkins going to be okay? Are we going with a different guy? Are the Browns going to sign one off the UFL? Was it a holder problem? Was it the long snappers problem? What's going on with him? Second question, what undrafted guy do you want to see make the team? Me personally, being a homer, I want Luke Foria to make it. I think he's going to be pretty good. Nice slot guy, but we'll see. And the third question is, there's these rivalry jerseys that are going to come out this year. Unfortunately, the Browns, of course, are the last ones to get them. But we're also getting a brown helmet. What do you guys think about that? So anyways, look forward to the show, guys. Can't wait for this season. Let's go Browns. Woo, woo.
All right. First thing, kicker.
I'll take kicker.
Kicker. It'll be Hopkins' job to lose, but didn't we sign the guy didn't we pick somebody up? Or no, or am I?
We did. I think so anyway.
Camp leg.
You gave Hopkins too much money not to hope he can have a bounce back season.
And he had a lot of crap going on last year. Like, I think just a lot of off the field stuff, you know. Man,
he'd be on a real short leash though. Why are we not calling Rodrigo Blankenship?
I want Matt McCrane back.
Hey.
You remember we had him on the show? Dude, I love that dude. Like, he's awesome.
But at least it's been like 2 weeks or something, but Rodrigo hadn't missed one in the UFL yet. He's perfect. He was like 16 of 16 on the season or something. And I mean, he's done it in the NFL.
How long has he not been with the Colts?
A few years now, I think. So like, I'd be calling that guy. I'd be bringing in a bunch of competition for. Last year was abysmal.
Yeah.
The only other kicker on the roster listed is Andre Schmidt.
Oh, okay. Andre Schmidt.
And he was on the practice squad last year, I believe.
That's why that name sounds so not familiar.
Yeah, he cycled in and out of here last year.
I do not recall him.
All right, so UDFA. that we would like to see?
God, I don't know.
Luke Flory is a good pick, Brad.
Yeah.
The Kent State kid from Menor, like Browns fan,
yeah,
hometown kid. Like, that would be
that's,
cool.
That's
now,
very safe.
He's what, 5'8", 170. He's a smaller guy, but he's got kick return abilities. You know, he has been definitely making plays, but obviously it's mini camps and stuff. But good story.
Yeah.
So while you got a name?
No.
Okay.
No.
Donovan McMillan.
Okay.
A safety out of Pitt. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the first UDFAs we signed. Just because our safety room is so thin right now behind Delpit and Hickman, who's also a UDFA. I know we just signed, Rayshon Jenkins and Kazi, but Donovan McMillan definitely interests me.
I'm going to go with, I just got I was going to say, Brad said it in the voicemail, but I was like, local kid, let's get him.
Yeah.
As long as he can do it. And then brown helmet. I'm a sucker for cool jerseys. My wife always makes fun of me because like we'll be sitting down, I'm like, oh, these jerseys are sick. And she just makes fun of me because I say it all the time for like every team. So as long as they're cool, I'm ready for them.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you guys in the chat, let me know what you guys think. I don't like the all brown jerseys. I don't like it when they wear brown, tops and brown pants. I don't think I'm going to like brown helmets.
I have the picture, or at least a concept.
I say they haven't like officially released it, have they? Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Wait, are we going to have orange jerseys with it?
I think that's the rivalry jersey he's talking about.
Because
it's a rivalry jersey and then a brown helmet.
I've been wanting orange jerseys for the Browns for so long. So if they incorporate an orange jersey with it, I'm sold. Lock me in.
I'm down for whatever. Just give me some. Mix it up.
Look good, play good, right?
Yeah, as long as you guys play well on the field.
Yeah, look good, play good.
You guys are going to be just as hard to watch if you suck, no matter what color jersey you're wearing.
Yep.
There's going to be some older generation of Browns fans that'll fight that orange helmet. That will not.
Well, they've already. We got the white.
I know.
Now,
I know. I'm just saying. It's got to be an orange helmet. It's got to be.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up so we can get out of here, go enjoy our nice day. We appreciate everybody who's been hanging out with us, talking to us in the comments, keeping it going. We appreciate it. Again, if you're local, to New Philadelphia, T County, Stark County, that's June 21st from noon to 5, Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia. Go bowl with the Browns legends. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be there. At least Josh and Justin will be there. Interviewing players, getting autographs, taking pictures, all that good stuff. It's going to be a good time for everybody involved. Again, jointhedawgs.com, become a dog pack member so you can play fantasy football with us. Sign-ups are now through the end of August. You don't want to miss out on a spot to play fantasy football with us. And please like and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss any of the off-season content that we're putting out. Again, we appreciate you guys being here, helping us become the second best Browns podcast in the nation.
Are we just claiming that?
We're just claiming
it, bro.
We have the award.
Yeah.
Now. We've got
at least from one publication.
yeah, right.
So we appreciate everybody who's helped us reach this status.
Number 2 podcast.
I texted my wife when I got to work this morning and said, I'm going to walk in here. People probably be asking for my autograph.
That's weird because I did.
And she said, you're a loser. I said, I know. But we appreciate you guys being here, helping us get there. Jointhedawgs.com. Become a dog pack member. Play fantasy football with us. We'll see you guys sometime later this week.